Welcome to the Prophecy Club. I guess it was back in about January I made a broadcast called Are 44,000 Marines about to round up some 10,000 U.S. leadership? Well, I have additional information on that, and I'm going to be bringing it to you today. Basically, the number of indictments has increased from 10,000 now up to some 40,000. Trump continues to ignore begging requests to declassify the dastardly deeds of the FBI, the DOJ, in their illegal use of U.S. spy technology and the Steele dossier of lies to keep Trump out of the White House, and if he did win, to remove him. This was their insurance policy. The U.S. Attorney continues to remain silent. Now, question. Do you believe that Trump is just lazy, not doing anything about it? Or do you think that he actually has our best interests at heart? And that based upon the information that he has that we don't, that he's actually doing the right thing? Well, I do. So what if Trump is ignoring the congressman begging him to get involved with the whole Steele dossier and insurance policy, Peter Strzok, FBI, DOJ scandal, all of that, because they're actually smaller fish in a much bigger fish roundup and a fish fry? In other words, what if Trump's friend, Jeff Sessions, recused himself for a higher reason? Because he is actually keeping a big fish roundup and fish fry of some 40,000 CEOs, FBI, DOJ, corruption, and the likes actually silent. What if they are actually planning a clean sweep to drain the swamp? What if some 40,000 Marines are actually working secretly in the background preparing a mass roundup of some 40,000 top international bankers, lawyers, George Soros types, and such in a giant clean sweep draining of the swamp? Well, Stan, you got any evidence of that? Can you prove what you're saying? Well, actually, no. I can't. I can't prove a word of what I'm about to say. And matter of fact, no one has slipped me any secret envelope under the door. I'm simply a prophecy student. I met the greatest prophecy, and I believe that I met the greatest prophet to ever walk the earth here in America, in my opinion, and the opinion of thousands of other people, speaking of Dmitri Duduman. I got to see what it's like to be in the presence of a real prophet, to hear what the real Word of God sounds like. And for the last 30 years, I've been telling America about the warning of Dmitri Duduman and other people. I believe that we are hearing from God. And I try to cull out the fake prophecies and bring you what in the mouth of two or three witnesses is actually saying. I'm a watchman. I'm a teacher of Bible prophecy. And that gives me a huge advantage over the people that do not know Bible prophecy, do not know when and when not to listen to someone that says, "Thus saith the Lord," over the folks that just simply have intel sources or news articles. You see, because I can recognize the real Word of God, because I know the Word of God, the Bible prophecy, I can discard information that doesn't line up with the Bible and is not confirmed in the mouth of two or three witnesses. What I'm about to give you is an update on that broadcast. I first started back in January saying 44,000 Marines are about to round up some 10,000 U.S. leadership. Now, of course, I say that was the information that I presented. And I've got further information on that. First of all, we have to ask ourselves, are the prophecies of people like Pastor Massey that says the U.S. military will come in to help Trump to take control of the public, are those accurate? He says the public will go out of order. Then Terry Bennett says, in short, for a while we'll have a fractional government, which means basically our government is going to come down to the state level because the military has to step in and seize control of our federal government. Now, he said you'd call it a coup, but in all honesty, it's actually to help our nation. That's why the military will have to step in. Now, is he saying that that's a bad thing? No, he's saying that apparently the military is going to have to step in, and it sounds to me like a whole lot of people are about to be part of a big roundup. You remember Jeremiah 51 verse 9 says, we would have healed Babylon, that's America, but she is not healed. I believe this is our time, brothers and sisters, to see our nation healed. Now, what can you and I do? Well, we can stand in the gap. We need to be praying every day for our government, specifically for Donald Trump and his family, staff, and presidency, against all harm and evil, and asking them specifically not to let the devil take him out, and to expose all tricks, traps, and traitors, and stop them and all this Robert Mueller stuff, and give him 8 years, help him drain the swamp, kick out the scorpions and snakes, and heal our land. So if the prophecies of Mark Taylor are correct, apparently Marines, now here, let me back up here, okay? Now, I know we're going to back up into the latter part of 2017, because you need to understand, kind of get a running start on what's going on here. So apparently, according to Mark Taylor, the Marines did land at the CIA headquarters and confiscate files, used part in the information to begin to shut off funding to the CIA black projects and the anti-Trump deep state. Apparently, the Marines are destroying the drug facilities, funding the deep state against Trump, so say these newspaper articles. Apparently, secret people are being arrested now for Uranium One and other charges, and it's all being kept quiet. We're not hearing it on Fox News. I don't blame Fox News. I think that they're actually cooperating to see that the news doesn't get out so that the rats run for safety, you see. Apparently, the rumors that the prisons of Gitmo, Diego Garcia, and the Atoll Islands may actually be true, that they're actually upgrading them, preparing for more prisoners, higher-ranking prisoners, officials that would normally bond out of American jails before the chair even gets warm. But apparently, this 10,000-plus sealed indictments have now grown to over 40,000. Not 10,000. I said over 40,000. Try to imagine 40,000 corrupt individuals in high places. International bankers, George Soros types. Try to imagine 40,000 of those all rounded up, let's say, in a 48-hour period, in a huge, huge sting. What would happen? What if it were true that much of the corrupt, law-breaking American leadership is going to be behind bars shortly? And, of course, can't be in America. So they've got Gitmo and other prisons, Diego Garcia, Atoll Islands. That way they have no civil rights. You can't call an attorney. We are going to see that you are prosecuted for this, you see. Hal Turner said, let's back up, now this is November 18th, that a large contingent of armed Marines raided the CIA headquarters in an Osprey tilt-rotor aircraft and confiscated CIA files. The next day he says, well, no, apparently they didn't actually land. They only buzzed the CIA headquarters. Well, did they land or did they not land? Well, the following day, November 19th, 2017, this headline appeared. The U.S. begins bombing Taliban drug labs as Trump's Afghan strategy takes hold, meaning that's exactly what they did. They did land. They did get all of those papers. So now they have dirt on a lot of people in high places within the U.S. government. The next headline, and this one comes November 27. Huge actionable intelligence haul from Marine raid, and apparently the Marine raid yielded a huge haul of actionable intelligence and Pentagon and other sources, and Trump is winning big, they say, with Clinton-linked pseudo rings, that's in pedo as in pedophile, busted in China as well as the Philippines, Africa, and Germany. In other words, they're rounding them up not just across America, but around the globe. Why did Trump issue an executive order confiscating wealth of those that are involved in corruption? Apparently, many of them have or are about to be arrested. Rumors fly saying some international arrests and confiscation have already taken place. Again, where's Fox News? Maybe Fox News is cooperating and keeping it quiet. Headline: Executive order blocking the property of persons involved in serious human rights abuse, and this is dated December 21 of 2017. And this says, I, Donald Trump, President of the United States, blah, 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 blocked and may not be transferred, paid, exported, withdrawn, or otherwise dealt in. And he's talking about how he's confiscating the property of these criminals. Now, let's jump to modern day. This is July 2nd of 2018. This comes to us from exopolitics.org headline, QAnon. All right, now this guy QAnon is getting to be pretty popular, but I'll get to that. QAnon links U.S. attorney with thousands of sealed indictments decimating the deep state. In a July 1 post, QAnon referred to the latest count of over 40,000 sealed indictments filed in U.S. federal district courts since October 30 of 2017 and linked these to prosecutions being led by the U.S. Attorney for Utah, John Huber. Attorney General Jeff Sessions. Now, let's talk about him a second. Now, you remember Jeff Sessions when Trump was running in his candidacy for the president of the United States. Him and Jeff were good buddies. But then as soon as Jeff gets in office, he immediately recuses himself, and everybody goes, "Why?" And, of course, Trump has tweeted out several times that he was very disappointed that he did that. Was that for public consumption? Could it be that Jeff Sessions and Trump are still really buddies, and that this is all part of their plan to keep their secret roundup a secret? Let me go on. General Jeff Sessions appointed Huber back November 13th, 2017, to work with the Department of Justice Inspector General Michael Horowitz in investigating a wide range of criminal and civil law violations by government employees brought up by Republican lawmakers. If QAnon's claim is shown to be accurate, then such a large number of secret indictments will have the effect of removing corrupt federal officials, which will decimate the deep state and its power over the U.S. political and financial system. It's worth beginning this examination by noting that the military intelligence group QAnon has just been included in Time, here you go, this little bit of credibility for QAnon, Time magazine's listing of the 25 most influential people on the internet. So this QAnon guy has got to be someone a lot of people listen to. While there have been an increasing number of mainstream articles debunking QAnon, the worldwide interest in QAnon's posts has been rapidly increasing due to mounting evidence that President Trump's White House is secretly behind the disclosures. Now, I don't believe that. I think that is someone that has pretty close connections, but I don't think it's coming directly from the White House, but maybe so. But let's go on. Just as the deep state has been using the mainstream media to leak classified information that is damaging to the Trump White House, Trump is doing the same through QAnon in order to expose the deep state. Therefore, the QAnon information represents a visible sign of clandestine information war being conducted by the Trump administration and the deep state to gain public support for competing agendas. In the July 1 QAnon post, he asks who is filing all the sealed indictments and points to an article published by Breitbart News, which we'll get to, which has often been cited for those analysis by those following QAnon's disclosures. QAnon mentions the number 470 right after posting the questions, who is filing the indictments and who has that kind of manpower, meaning who has the authority to file 40,000 indictments all across America, and some people say across the world. In other words, apparently it's more than just America, but we'll skip that for now. For an answer, QAnon steers us back to Breitbart article, which refers to the March 29, 2018 letter written by Attorney General Sessions to the chairman of 3 congressional committees. Now, this is important, which refers to 470 investigators that make up the staff of the Office of the Inspector General. Now, this is about to get interesting. Turley Sessions appointing Utah federal prosecutor, much better for Trump than second special counsel. So what Trump and Sessions have done is something really good and really smart, but the public doesn't know about it yet. Let's go on, though. Professor Jonathan Turley, a top national legal expert on government investigations, commented on Thursday about Attorney General Jeff Sessions' decision to bring in Attorney General John Huber. Turley called it brilliant to combine all the powers of the U.S. Department of Justice Inspector General with the prosecutor who can bring charges, seek indictments, and get results for President Trump far more quickly than a special counsel. Did you catch that? So what they're doing is something better than a special counsel. Turley is a law professor at George Washington University who attained national fame during the 1998 impeachment of President Bill Clinton as a top legal authority on special counsels and congressional investigations of government wrongdoing, including criminal wrongdoing. His reputation has only grown through the interviewing of 20 years as he has weighed in on, here it is, scandals and investigations of public officials from both political parties. So this guy is a real go-getter for people like Hillary. Okay? He loves locking them up. He's good at it. Turley, it says, is just the guy to go after Hillary and her friends, the evil international bankers and crooks like George Soros. Sessions sent a letter to House Judiciary Committee Chairman Bob Goodlatte. Now, that's one of the good guys, okay? And he said, informing them that Huber is conducting a full-fledged criminal investigation into all the matters Republicans are calling for. Did you hear that? In other words, they're saying, guys, hang on. We are investigating all this. It's just that we aren't going to start rounding people up until we've got every name on the list. That's what they're really saying here. Let's go on. Huber has been investigating these possible crimes for 5 months since November 13th of 2017. So they have been investigating this. In other words, the Attorney General, Jeff Sessions, has not been sitting down on the job. He's probably been very busy. Back to the article. During an interview with Lou Dobbs, Fox Business Network show Turley explained to guest host Stuart Varney that the media are wrongly reporting that Sessions will not appoint a second special counsel. Quote, he did not foreclose the possibility of a special counsel, he insisted. Instead, Turley explained that Sessions has ordered Huber to team up with the Inspector General within the Justice Department to investigate these matters. Got that? So in other words, Sessions is actually very busy, and what they've been doing is some very, very smart things. Apparently, they are about to pull the plug, and probably this will happen right after the midterm elections. Probably they'll pull the plug and drain the swamp right after the elections. Let's go on, though. Sessions informed Congress in his letter. Now, listen carefully. All the matters recommended for investigation by Goodlatte, Gowdy, and Grassley, those are the good guys, are fully within the scope of Huber's existing mandate. Got that? It's saying that, boys, we're pulling on the plug. We are getting ready to round them up. And it will be quite a sucking sound because some 40,000 names are on our list to round up. That's what they're really saying. Let's go on, though. He also informed the chairman that Inspector General Michael Horowitz, who is working with Huber, now listen to this, has a staff of 470 investigators giving Huber access to enormous investigative firepower that far exceeds the staff of any special counsel. The Dems, now listen, let me point this out. The Dems have about 17 angry Democrats after Trump. However, the Trump Sessions team have 470 professional investigators after up to the point of some 40,000 corrupt leaders. So you got that? 17 angry Democrats are in the Mueller investigation going after Trump. But Trump and Sessions have about 470 investigators going after the 40,000 corrupt leaders. Yow. The point is critical because, as Sessions' March 29th letter explains, the Inspector General's jurisdiction to conduct civil and criminal investigations includes actions taken by former employees after they leave the government and those in the government. They can rope and hogtie those in or out of government. That's what the article's really saying. Back to the article. As a U.S. attorney, Huber has full authority to impanel a grand jury and to file criminal charges. A grand jury can be impaneled anywhere, which means that it could be a group of citizens from deep red Utah, for example, in the heart of Trump country, instead of the D.C. swamp, that decides whether to hand down indictments for a felony prosecution. So they're going to pull the plug of the D.C. swamp from another location. That's what they're saying. Let's go on, though. The Inspector General's jurisdiction extends not only to allegations of legal violations, but also allegations of department employees violated established practices as well. Sessions added in his letter, which means that the IG's report can hold people accountable even for actions that do not violate a specific statute. You know what they're saying? We're going to get them, boys. Just sit still. We're going to get them. We're going to get the big ones and the medium and some of the small ones too. We're going to catch all the fish and we're going to have a big fish fry. Now, the article goes on to say, I think Sessions did the right thing, said Turley. I think the president should listen to General Sessions on this one. Sessions, quote, can always appoint a special counsel, unquote. Turley explained, but that should not even be necessary because Huber has the ability to prosecute these cases. Do these prosecutors have the same power to investigate and get to the bottom of things that the special counsel would have, Varney asked. Yes, they do. I think people are missing what could be a brilliant move here by Sessions. What he did is essentially combine the powers of the Inspector General with the powers of a line prosecutor. This prosecutor does not just have the experience and training to look into criminal cases, but also the ability to move a case of that kind into court. Not only that, but if Sessions believes crimes were committed, but Huber for some reason does not bring charges, Sessions has reserved the right to go ahead and appoint a special counsel. So you got that, guys? In other words, the Republicans have not been lax. They've not been sitting down. They've actually been working really hard behind the scenes. And apparently there's about to be a big fish fry as soon as they get all the fish in the net. Let's go on, though. When Varney asked Huber and Horowitz status, Obama holdovers creates a possible problem for Sessions and President Trump, doesn't it? Turley said, no, observing that each man has a great reputation as a dogged investigator. Breitbart News has separately confirmed that Utah Senator Orrin Hatch and Mike Lee, both of whom are Republicans who support aggressive investigations of these scandals, enthusiastically supported Huber to be reappointed by President Trump as his Attorney General in Utah. Huber is a Utah lawyer, not a D.C. lawyer. That distance between them and Washington is very important because Huber is not part of the deep state. President Trump should be very happy that Sessions chose this route of appointing Huber, who has the power to seek indictments and prosecute cases, and teamed up with Horowitz, who has 470 investigators at his disposal. If the president wants to see swift and decisive action, that's the way to go. If a special counsel were appointed, well, it could take a long time. So you may be asking, well, if they've got 40,000 sealed indictments, and this is only since, October 31 of 2017. What is normal? Well, actually, the normal is about 284 sealed indictments in any particular normal year. So we have gone from 284 sealed indictments up to somewhere around 40,000. That's a lot of people. That's a lot of people to put in jail, all within, maybe a 48-hour, probably at most a 1 week period. So they say as these corrupt officials are removed from their influential positions, the deep state's power is decimated, thereby opening the door for truth to be disclosed on a great number of issues previously suppressed by the deep state. Well, we Christians want to rejoice, thinking that this corruption in America might be removed. But now we go to Bible prophecy and to the modern prophets, because you probably are saying, well, I haven't heard about any arrests. Well, that may be part of the plan. Do you really think that corrupt fake news would tell you even if they did know? But probably Fox News, the ones that might actually know this is happening, are probably cooperating to keep all of the cockroaches from heading to all of their hiding places, you see, and digging up all of the graves and hiding all the evidence. All right, so now let's go to Bible prophecy. This particular is a prophecy from Terry Bennett. Terry says, what the United States is going to go through is civil conflict, civil war, then invasion. We're already in a civil conflict. And according to Shane Warren, as I've been talking about the last several weeks, we're heading to a civil war. Don't forget, Dimitri Duduman said the fall of America will start with an internal revolution, started by the communists. Some of the people will start fighting against the government. The government will be busy with internal problems. Then from the oceans, Russia, Cuba, Nicaragua, Central America, Mexico, and 2 other countries will attack and defeat America in 1 day, in 1 hour, so great riches will come to naught. Well, right now we're seeing violence in Portland and Berkeley and other places, and, in my opinion, as anger and hate and violence rises in our nation, as you sow, so also shall you reap. As you do to others, it is done to you, is what it's saying. And then all of a sudden, we see these crazy wildfires burning out in these same areas where we see so much anger. And you have to say, well, is this the hand of God? I don't want to believe so, but the truth is it may be. Of course, it may also be scalar wave. But you have to understand that would still be the hand of God, too, because it was God that gives them the scalar wave, and God controls the heartstrings of everybody on earth. I saw in the governmental area, back to Terry Bennett, that we will go through a dramatic change in our government. There will be a time of anarchy and chaos. For a while, we'll have a fractional government. What would you call it if they rounded up 40,000 evil people in high places all within the same week, let's say, for example? What would you call that when 40,000 corrupt international bankers, CEOs, congressmen, all rounded up? What would you call that? Probably you'd call that a fractional government. Okay, so let's go on. For a while, we'll have a fractional government, which means basically our government come down to the state level because of the military stepping in and having to seize control of our federal government. Now, understand, that's not the federal government seizing control of Trump, taking Trump's authority away. I think it will be Trump calling the Marines, calling the military in to seize control of the federal government to put him in charge. You'd call it a coup, Terry says, but in all honesty, it'll be to help our nation. That's why the military will have to step in. Let me read that again. Let's think that through. For a while, we'll have a fractional government, which means basically our government will come down to the state level because of the military stepping in and having to seize control of our federal government. So we might say it this way. Because Trump calls in the Marines to arrest these 44,000, you'd call it a coup because it's removing the leadership of America. But what it is Trump and the good guys removing all of the corruption you see. At least that's the way we hope it works. He went on to say lawlessness and chaos was shown to me in civil unrest. The angel Gabriel told Terry that when the checks from our government stop coming to the people, the chaos will ensue. Now, here's how I can see that happening. Oh, my goodness, we run out of time. Okay, well, thank you for listening. Thank you for your prayers. And remember, it is summertime. If God has blessed you, if you can help Prophecy Club, now's a real good time to do it. God bless.
And prayerfully consider supporting the Prophecy Club with your gifts of support. We would not be here without your prayers and generous financial support.
Now from the Prophecy Club, some exciting opportunities for you. The Extreme Summer Blowout is now in effect. You can get 50 DVDs for $250. That's $5 each. 25 for $160. That's $6.40 each. 15 for $120. That's $8 each. 10 for $100. Obviously $10 each. 6 for $70. 4 for $50, and 2 for $30. You can go to prophecyclub.com. There's a list of all the DVDs there, or you can call us and ask for the summer catalog, or download the catalog at prophecyclub.com. Flip through it, then decide which DVDs you want. That's 785-266-1112, and it expires soon. Call 785-266-1112 today. Some restrictions apply. Over 150 conferences and 50 debates defending the King James Version gives Adam Johnson the right to tell us what is the best Bible version in his new triple DVD set called King James or 400 Counterfeits, available at prophecyclub.com. Gift of $45, prophecyclub.com.